On the play. Oh, this hand is super slow. I've got a lot of premium cards, and I have a cycler that helped me hit my third land drop, but is that even good enough? Might have to be. We have, what, 3 shots at hitting our land? We could also draw a 2-drop. I think this is a keep on the play, but I don't love it. Alright, that's better than nothing. That was good. Unsummon. That's rude. Could offer the trade here. Once again, now that we have these double evens in our hand, we might want to just not go for pure aggression and just trick him into trading away a premium aggressive body. I'm fine with this trade. I figured he probably wouldn't take it, but... And it's not a trade I would normally make, but in this instance, I'm a little concerned. I think my opponent's up to something if he's using Unsummon so aggressively. Yeah, now look what's happening here. We're taking 6. Could block, but I don't want to trade away my board presence, so I'll take this hit. Ugh, can't draw lands for the life of me. I'll cycle this main phase. Alright, land, that's good. So, what do I want to do here? Attack for 3, probably not exerting, and then just tapping one of his guys, probably his flying guy. Yeah, the only decision here really is whether or not to exert, and it's probably not best. I'm under pressure, but not too much pressure. He has so many cards in hand. So we'll just attack for 3 normal damage. Then tap his flyer. It's missing land drops, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. It's probably a bad thing. Alright, cool. Land was good. Send in for 3. And we'll gain a little life back and halt his assault a little bit. Now I'm feeling alright. Hit his land drop. Definitely in for a haymaker session here. He's going to have to start tapping out for premium stuff every turn. Yep. So we're going to take a bunch of damage here. Go to, looks like 5. But then we get to play another Aven. Attack. This could be going worse. If he has another removal spell, we're just dead on the spot, but what are you going to do about that, right? Sending him for 3. I think I can just take that. Next turn we can start using our spells defensively again. So now, gotta be a little careful here. It's gonna be a tricky turn. How do I want to play it? 7 mana available to us. Drawing that land wasn't super useful. We're not going to be able to use all our mana this turn, no matter what we do. I could play the Minotaur and pass, and then on his turn I can tap Initiate, but then it might leave me dead. I would have to block here and take 4, but if he had a land, or if he had a spell, I would take lethal. Conversely, I could tap the Aerial Guide. I can put Compulsory Arrest on the Initiate this turn and attack with the Aven, and then I can tap the Aerial Guide, but that has me taking lethal as well, unless I kept up Mighty Leap. Or if I exerted my survivors this turn, that would put me up to 6, which is actually relevant because that gets me out of prowess range. So like if I put Compulsory Arrest on the Initiate, attacked with both of these, and exerted the survivors, how much damage is that? That would be 6, 7. And if he doesn't block, we have Mighty Leap for lethal. I don't think he has Unsummon. No, he definitely doesn't have Unsummon because we would have died last turn to it. So I'm not going to be concerned about that. I can Compulsory Arrest on the Initiate. I can tap something also, but I don't know if that's worth it. Oh, man. I think that checks out. Forces him to block. Depending on what he blocks, we can just tap something or play the Minotaur. And then if he doesn't block, he's just dead. So I think this play makes sense. Very close game. He's got to block. I have so much open mana, he's got to suspect something's up. But I mean, I'm fine with this if he does block. Oh, he doesn't block. Alright, I mean, I'm going for it. He probably figures if I have a trick, it's going to be hard for him to win anyway, and this gives him the best chance of winning, so I think both sides played it well. But yeah, very exciting end to that game. So my opponent is a lot more aggressive than I thought, more tempo-based. I thought maybe he just had a cheap curve that game, but looks like my opponent's definitely on the beats, so I need to make some decisions here. I think I definitely want the sure shot. Don't love the limits, but it's not the worst to have it in my deck because it's good way to swing a race if that's what it comes to. What card would not be so good in a race? I mean, I could cut one of my Avengers and sort of mitigate my risk of getting blown out by a Splendid Agony. Normally I would cut a Kenra in that situation if I wanted to trim on my 2-drops, but the issue is not so much that my curve is too low, because I like my curve the way it is. It's more the fact that I'm worried about the Splendid Agony or any other myriad toughness-based interaction you might have. I could cut the Camel, but I kind of like the lifelink if we're going to be in a race as well. Juror's Resolve maybe not necessarily where we want to be. But again, it's also good in a race. Although, to be fair, a lot of his creatures are flying, so it wouldn't be as useful as it might normally be. Maybe the Renunciation on the draw, it's not going to be as useful. I mean, I don't want it in my deck as a fog, I want it as a way to get blockers out of the way. And it doesn't seem like that's the way the games have been going. It's been more about him tempoing me out and winning with flyers and bounce spells and the whatnot, so I don't think it's going to be as useful here as it might normally be. Alright, I think this all makes sense to me. I'm going to submit.